Got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole wide world in your hands. You got. Hello, this is Bharat from Palmistry Unplugged, and today we will be talking about the headline. Now, the headline gives us information about how we think. Are we left brain dominant, which means logical, or are we right brain dominant, which means more intuitive? Also, how we perceive the world. Do we need the mind to see the world, or we can perceive the world directly? Another indicator of the headline is how emotional a person will be, because a person with a certain type of headline will have emotional component, and depending on the severity of the line. Okay, so now as you see in the diagram, the headline begins by the thumb on the anterior portion of the palm, and it then travels out towards the moon. So there's a classification of the headline, and the headline can fit into 4 categories. The first category is when the head, which is at the beginning of the headline, as when the headline begins attached to the lifeline, or the headline begins separate from the lifeline. So that's 2 divisions. And then once the headline goes out across the palm, it can go straight across the palm, or it can curve and go down into the moon, further down into the moon area. So that's again 2 separations, 2 divisions. So there's 4 possibilities of the headline. Okay. So now, just to recap, the best type of headline is one that is solid, doesn't have any marks on it, doesn't have any dots on it, doesn't have any breaks on it, doesn't have any islands on it. So this is always the best, and it has a little bit of thickness to it. If it's red, especially if it's a Caucasian hand, if it's red, it's showing passion, it's showing life force energy. So that is the optimum headline that we have. Okay? Now, I will begin with when the headline is attached to the lifeline. So generally you see that more in men than in women. And that means when the headline is attached to the lifeline, it shows an attachment to society. It shows an attachment to what people are thinking of you. It's also sort of an indication of some fear. And there's usually people that have their headline attached to the lifeline. They are more fear-based people. They're more cautious. They want to weigh the issues. They want to go 2 of A and 3 of B and then make a decision. They're more slower in making their decisions. It also shows, this attachment to society, what people are thinking of them. But one can get on with that type of headline. Now the other possibility is when the headline is separate from the lifeline. Now, when the headline is separate from the lifeline, this is showing a more advanced mind. It's not dependent on what people are thinking of you or them. They can make decisions based on actual facts. And people that have their headline separate from the lifeline are usually, it's a sign of intelligence or more intelligence. It's a sign of independence. It's a sign of leadership abilities. It's a sign of being able to be by themselves alone. And the most important aspect is the ability to see reality directly. They don't need the mind to think things over. They can walk into a room and just look around let's say, a place of employment, and let's say they're a boss or something, and just look around and look at their workers, look what's going on, and they don't have to think about it. You just get it directly, and then they know exactly what to do. So there's this. So because of this, it gives them the ability to take risk, to make spontaneous decisions. And people who are in the business or running corporations or organizations, this comes into quite an advantage. And in fact, if you look at most people that are running businesses or organizations, they'll usually have their headline separate from the lifeline. Okay, so this is what I want to cover right now, and the next video we will talk about what happens when that headline leaves the lifeline or goes out into the moon area or across the frontier of the palm, what exactly that means. Okay, all right, so this is Bharat from Palmistry Unplugged, and we'll see you very shortly for the next clip of this video. Okay, thank you very much. See you.
Got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole wide world in your hands. You got the whole